Have you ever tried speaking English with strangers, only to feel nervous or unsure? It happens to almost everyone learning a language. But sometimes, the best conversations come when you're not trying too hard, when the moment finds you, not the other way around. That's why learning English through storytelling helps so much. It shows how language works in real moments, not just in classrooms or apps, but in the quiet, surprising parts of life. So if you're ready to discover how English lives in everyday situations, like this video, leave a comment and subscribe to RealSpeak. It started with rain. Not heavy at first, just a soft tapping sound on windows and roofs. But within minutes, the sky turned gray, and the clouds broke open. People walking down the street began to hurry. Some ran under trees. Others opened umbrellas. And a few, like Amir, looked around for anything with a roof. He found it in front of a small bakery. A wide, striped awning stretched over the sidewalk. The perfect place to stay dry, at least for a while. He stepped under it and shook the rain off his sleeves. He wasn't alone. There were 5 others already standing there. An old man with a paper bag, a teenage girl in headphones, a mother holding her child, and 2 tourists, clearly not from the city. Everyone looked up at the sky, quiet and waiting. For a moment, no one said a word. Then the old man spoke. "Typical spring," he said, half to himself. "Sunny when you leave the house. Storm by lunch." Amir smiled politely. One of the tourists laughed. "Back home, we'd call this a light shower." That started something. People began to talk. Not loudly. Not formally. Just softly, with small smiles. The teenage girl took off one earbud and nodded when someone mentioned the forecast. The mother asked where the tourists were from. Amir joined in, answering a question about the best coffee in the area. The rain got heavier, but no one moved. For 10 minutes, it became its own little world, strangers under a roof, talking not because they had to, but because the weather made space for it. They spoke slowly, carefully. The tourists used simple English. The others responded with patience. Nobody corrected anyone. Nobody judged. It was real conversation, natural, kind, and a little awkward in the best way. Amir noticed how the old man used phrases like, "might as well wait it out," and "this'll pass soon." He noted how the mother said, "you never know with this sky," instead of, "the weather is unpredictable." These were the kinds of sentences you don't find in textbooks. He listened. He replied. He didn't worry about being perfect. At some point, the rain began to fade. The air softened. Cars moved more slowly through puddles. One by one, people stepped out. The teenage girl waved goodbye. The tourist said, "Nice meeting you." The old man tipped his hat. The mother smiled and picked up her umbrella again. Amir stood there for a few seconds longer, watching the street return to normal. He didn't get anyone's name. He didn't take a picture. But something about that moment stayed with him, how language felt human, soft, and full of shared weather. He started walking again. The sidewalk was wet, the wind was light, and the city sounded a little warmer. In today's story, you heard real expressions like, "might as well wait it out," "this'll pass soon," "back home we'd call this," and "the weather made space for it." These are natural phrases that show how people really talk in daily life. You also saw simple past structures, he found, people began to talk, used for storytelling. And you saw how conversations can be gentle and real, even when everyone is just waiting for the rain to stop. We post true-to-life English stories like this every day. So like this video, subscribe to RealSpeak, and in the comments, tell us, when was the last time you had a short, unexpected conversation with someone? See you in the next video.